Są bardzo uniwersalne treści, tak? No bo żyjemy, cieszymy się, bawimy się, ale żyjemy w czasie, tak? Który dla każdego z nas kiedyś się skończy. Ja myślę, że Bach bardzo taki optymistyczny przekaz daje końca, bo jest nadzieja, tak? Bo trzeba pamiętać, Bach był teologiem i również i to jest takie rozumienie końca życia jako przejścia. Wierzył, że jesteśmy zbawieni, tak? Że czeka nas kolejna rzeczywistość, więc ja myślę, że to jest bardzo taka naturalna rzecz.
But it's true that even this music speaks about, let's say, dark things often, but the message is never pessimistic. Not only because if you people who trust in God, who trust in a second eternal life, they have a hope. The music itself never express even in the darker moment in a way, the concept in a way there's no hope, not and. I think it's a characteristic also of music of 18th century. There is never a message that leave you dirty, leave you without any hope, even if you don't trust in God. And I would say that later in the music of 19th century, 20th century, this didn't happen often no more. In a way, especially music of 20th century, even it's great music, but often leave you a sort of bad message. You don't feel so well. I mean, the cathartic function of the art is very present. Cathartic means that after you are clean, you saw the dramas, and that is a Greek principle of the drama. You saw on stage many bad things, but then you feel better, you feel clean. In Bach, that is speaking about such main topics of life, I think it's even more present, this aspect. For me, it's a great privilege to play, because in this case, I'm not conducting, I play recorder, my instrument, and the program is really based, all the three cantatas have important parts for my instruments, and I would say that two are for two recorders and one for solo recorder. There are some arias and also choral, and I would say that Bach brought the best music for my instrument, and to have in one program really three masterpiece where I can really taste just the aspect of music making as a player is something that I don't make so often, and making just this great music is the first motivation of great pleasure. Then I have to say that the fact to have a choir with children playing, singing the upper parts is even more motivation of my happiness, because, for example, about the cantatas 106, Axus Tragicus, when I was young, I listened so much the version made by Gustav Leonard that he did with, I think, Tolce Knabenko, and was with children. And I always find that the voice, the innocent voice of the soprani, give a unique color, unique meaning to this music that often speak about such heavy things of life, like death, but sung by children, that sounds like absolute, something really that sounds absolutely true, absolutely go directly to the heart of the players and to the heart of the listeners.
Tak jak wcześniej Giovanni wspomniał, użycie głosów chłopięcych daje ten bardzo czysty przekaz, a jednocześnie daje specjalny kolor, tak? No bo zastosowanie żeńskich sopranów powoduje, że już się zmienia kontekst, że zmienia się kolor. A chłopcy śpiewają nie tylko solowe partie, ale również są w zespole, czyli śpiewają sopranowym głosem. To jest męski skład, bo oprócz chłopców są kontratenorzy, czyli są tenorzy i głosy basowe, więc można powiedzieć, że w takim układzie to również jest niezwykle, powiedział, pociągające jako barwa, która jest jakby nieosiągalna w innym zestawie głosów.
And I think also the color of recorders fits very well.
And gambas.
And gambas, of course, but playing, for example, sometimes with the soprani, I feel we are the same type of color. And I'd say that also, I mean, in general, my instrument is associated to the children in a way. Everyone study recorder in the school. So in some way, I come back to be a child in some way, playing my recorder with them. And also it's great. I like so much to have these sounds that become one sound.
To prawda, ja się zgadzam, no bo jedna z kantat później w Lipsku Bach jakby nową wersję stworzył i zastosował ty trawersy. Tak? To chodzi tutaj o kantatę 161. I myślę, że to już jest właśnie no, zupełnie inna muzyka. Tak?
You can see in this music that Bach knew the recorder, how to let play. Well, the parts also, some of them are quite demanding technically. It's really, I was asking to myself the level of the players, because there's, for example, one choral is very virtuosistic part, but also the expressive use of the, for example, in the choir, there's a moment in the final part where all the voices stop and the soprano remain alone, make a sort of almost Arabic character cadenza, complete, and the instruments step by step go away. And the recorders have a position very low, but very uncomfortable. They play like half whole tara, 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 that cannot sound really, is very low. Also, he knew the limits of the instrument, play, this G, para, para. You have to do a very tricky movement. And also, after that, it's no more possible to play. It's the minimum that recorder can express. And he knew that his position, even because probably now we have double holes, so we have a more precise way to play. But in that time, they didn't have. So the note will be probably like something like that. And he knew. I can see he used the limit of the instrument to express this moment where only the soprano remained alone. So it's great. Because sometimes, even in our times, when composers write for instrument, especially modern composers today, when they write for the recorders, and I can see they don't know the instruments. They don't know the limits and the possibilities, and to play with the limits of the instrument. And Bach also played with took the limits, and the limit became a value. And so it's the best when you see that. But in that time, composer knew the instrument. They play organ, harpsichord, flute, viola da gamba, even if they were not virtuosi, but they had a contact with the material, something that often today is not.
I phrase sometimes now the composer use the instruments like, the keyboard, switch on or switch off some voice, and they use.
In fact, but also because in that time. Also, instrument had a very special meaning. The recorder is often associated to the death, for example. This
as well viola da gamba in Bach music.
Absolutely. And I would say that also the origin of the recorder, I mean, the primitive man was a bone. A bone with holes, and they discover, and a bone is also how we are done, how we will become bones. And so there are many levels of symbolic meaning in the instrument, in the use, and in the sound. So there's a great knowledge in this.
I would like to add something about playing on the recorder. It's not only melody or, I don't know, but it's also articulation. So it's melody combined with the talking. I can say,
of course, we try to speak. I mean, one of the main way to express through the recorder is not dynamic. Recorder don't have great dynamic. It's like harpsichord. But then is this subtle use of articulation, exactly like when we speak. And this is the ancient technique, not only of recorder or harpsichord, but for this instrument are particularly based on articulation. Is the main way to to be expressive. And you try to imitate really what a singer is telling, imagine the consonant, the vowels, and it's true, it makes great, because I like this instrument, an instrument that can look simple or banal, but it isn't at all. It's a sort of hidden art of the recorder, I think, playing.
I remember one of the concerts during Wrocławian Cantons many years ago, when probably 40 maybe. So I was very surprised that early music is played on instruments, especially for cornetti. And I realized they are talking something to me. it's not only melodies. So articulation is in Baroque music. The words, the lyrics are the most important. You know, music comes after the
Absolutely. It's the study of articulation in technique of record, and really they describe use to speak in instrument and to reproduce. There is a concept of imitation of the nature. That is a Renaissance concept. The singer is doing something, you do the same with your instrument. It is a piece, is a creation of the man, but to imitate the nature. And it's true that this instrument, the Baroque oboe, the cornetto, personally, I feel they have something that arrive more direct compared with a modern oboe or a clarinet. They are great, they are incredible. But this sound is like when you listen, for example, folk music, and whatever type, can be Irish, can Polish, or the instruments speak in a way very direct, beyond the type, the value of the music, just the sound. And I think to perform this music with original instruments, it's a discovery of the last 40 years when they start to play this instrument, but it's absolutely for me necessary. I cannot imagine Acto Stragico with modern metal flute.
No.
It would lose
No.
half of its value that is in the sound, in the message that arrives through the sound.
Even if you use violas.
Of course.
Instead of
and
gambas. So
gamba is a sound that really so direct, is archaic in a way.
Yeah.
There's something that touch ancient aspect of our human being.
I remember many years ago we start work with Baroque music. The musician just wrote the text, you know, ref notes, score, and to understand what about this, to follow this text.
The accent, the breath, especially for trombone, for example, trombone often they double the choir. It's absolutely important to know and to think that they are singing. But it was not always like that. It's really, this approach is a discovery, a rediscovery of the last 30, 40 years.
I think in the past the trombone players, they knew texts, they knew masses and vespers, and it was not problem for them just to speak.
But also was a daily practice. I mean, in the past they played the music of their time. They didn't play medieval music, so it was a daily playing, and they worked hard because to make music was a service, even for Bach. That he trusted, but he had to write because he was employed. So this music making daily made the fact that their style was really the style of the time. But of course, because to make music with a group of NFM, and I did already in the past, especially with the choir, with the children choir, was something always a special moment. And in a way, sometimes also to have the possibility to play, because I like to play. And to don't be, I'm of course very involved, we are working together about finding perspective in this music, but it's very important for me to continue to play. And this is a great question. And of course, I hope, I think we have in mind many projects together, because it's so many years. How many years I'm here? I don't know. I forgot, more than 10 for sure.
No.
So in some way, I'm used to think this place like a sort of second home, musically speaking, and
I feel that Giovanni
I'm a part of
always
this.
was part of the NFM.